President Obama has been trying to play nice, of course, with the Republicans for a long time. And he tried to goad them into approving more of his judicial nominees. And shockingly, they have not really bit, especially when it comes to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. That's probably the second most important court after the United States Supreme Court. And that is where a lot of the decisions are made at the federal level because of where it is. Now, that was missing 4 different seats that had not been filled yet. So the question in Washington was, whose fault is it? Now, this story gets into the weeds of filibusters and judicial nominees, etc., but that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is how this game is played, and that's what I want to break down for you guys, okay? So now recently, President Obama finally nominated someone for the court, and after a lot of obstruction, Harry Reid said, hey, you know what? I might go nuclear option and take away the filibuster from the Republicans. And then all of a sudden they said, okay, fine. Let's vote on one of the guys. And when they did, the vote was 97-0. Well, if you were going to approve him unanimously, why the hell were you holding him up in the first place, right? Now, the Democrats say that it has taken the longest time to approve judicial nominees under Obama than any other administration. Now, is that true? Yes, that is true. Whose fault is it? Well, that's obviously the Republicans' fault because they're the ones blocking the appointments, right? They are appointed and then they do not get confirmed. In fact, I have really interesting stats to show you how true that is. Now, this is based on nominees that ultimately are unopposed. So there's not any controversy surrounding these nominees. And it gives you a sense of how long, on average, they've waited anyway. Now, under Bush, Circuit Court appointees waited 29.3 days on average. These were the unopposed ones. Under Obama, they have been waiting 124.7 days. Now, you get a sense of the record-breaking obstruction here by the Republicans. These are facts. District Court, 32.4 days under George W. Bush. Under Obama, nearly 3 times as much, 89 days on average they are waiting. So there's no question who's holding them up. But the Republicans turn around and go, wait a minute, it's actually not our fault. They say Obama has taken the longest time to nominate of any president, so it's actually Obama's fault. Oh, well, that's interesting. And if you stop it right there or you watch Fox News, you say, okay, well, then it must be Obama's fault. Now I see the real story behind the story. That's because they didn't show you the story behind the story behind the story. Turns out, according to the traditions of the Senate, what the president does is he waits for the home senators from any particular state where a nominee is coming from to put that slate of nominees forward. Now, they give him a bunch of options, and the president gets to pick from those options. That's tradition. And Obama has been making the mistake of waiting for Republican senators. So, in reality, when it comes to forwarding the slate of possible nominees, the Republicans have not been forwarding them. Whose fault is that? Indisputably the GOP's fault. Because so many of those state senators, especially from the red states, obviously, are just Republicans. So they're like, oh, you want to list the nominees? Maybe we just never give you one. Now the final piece of this, which is amazing and great Washington theater, is the Republicans then turn around and go, Obama wants us to hurry. According to Chuck Grassley, he said, quote, he is packing the court. Now, this is awesomely ironic because the words packing the court references Franklin Roosevelt, who tried to pack the Supreme Court, ultimately failed at it, by adding extra seats on there who he would get to nominate all of them, and hence he would pack the court to his advantage. In this case, the Republicans are saying, especially with the D.C. Circuit, they're literally saying, even though the court is 11 appointees, let's never nominate those 3. Let's knock the court, the structure of the court, down to 8 appointees, meaning they're literally unpacking the court, okay? But it never stops them. Mitch McConnell says, quote, for Obama, the whole purpose here is to stack the court. And as always, they do a brilliant job of projection. That's exactly what they want to do. That's why they never forwarded the slate of nominees in the first place. Even when they got the nominees, even for the unanimous ones that eventually get approved, they waited record-breaking amount of days. And in the end, they turn around and go, well, since you didn't nominate someone for so long, what could we do? You know what? let's just knock down this court from 11 appointments to just 8. And golly gee, look at that, the 8 left are from Republican, or more from Republican presidents than Democratic presidents, so I guess they're going to continue to be conservative. Well, it's nothing but your fault. Now, there is no he said, she said on this. If the likes of CNN report this neutral, they are wrong. There is a real answer here. This is the answer. The reality is the Republicans have been slowing the process down and now want to unpack the court for their own political advantage. They want to mess with the structure of our judiciary to get that advantage, and they lie through and through about it. That's reality.